Okay, I guess we'll start at the beginning. We're not gonna cover everything, obviously, but yeah. Let's see. We haven't seen Belko or Videodrome.
No, we're gonna have to watch those. Also 31.
31. Oh yeah, with
Rob Zombie one with Nazi clowns and stuff.
we just watched The House of a Thousand Corpses. It was a fucking weird movie, but still pretty entertaining.
Yeah. Decent at least.
Yeah. The Monsters Universal Collection. We've seen about half of them.
Yeah.
Spanning from, let's see, The Mummy. We haven't seen The Mummy.
No,
really hyped for that. Frankenstein was a pretty good movie. I heard Bride is a lot better than Frankenstein. Dracula we saw. I enjoyed Dracula. Wolfman, not so much actually. It's still pretty good, but yeah. Invisible Man though.
Best, really good movie.
Best fucking of the bunch. It's amazing movie. Definitely recommend it to everyone.
I'm afraid I need this bicycle.
And we can't forget the Friday the 13th 8 movie collection box, which contains movies 1 to 8. It misses part 9, Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, the remake from 2009, and Freddy vs. Jason. I've seen every single one of these except Jason Goes to Hell, since I heard that shit. You've only seen parts 1 and 2, correct?
Yeah, and some of the third one, but not the whole movie, no.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hit and miss series. The first one is a real gem. The first Friday and Halloween really got the slasher genre started, subgenre. And of course, Betsy Palmer as Mrs. Voorhees in the first one is a gem of an actor. She definitely holds that movie up.
Yeah, she's kind of a surprise because you expect it to be Jason. If you just heard about Friday the 13th, you expect every movie to be about Jason just murdering kids, but it's like a nice surprise that it's actually not Jason in the first movie. Yeah,
it takes a long while to get going because he doesn't actually get the hockey mask until the third movie. So it really
probably want to put a spoiler tag on that too.
To be honest, but if you haven't seen this movie, it came out in the 80s. You have to but the real gems are probably the first movie and the third movie, which I kind of have a soft spot for. It's really funky, that movie. I love that so much. And the sixth one. The sixth one is where it gets really crazy. That's where he gets all his supernatural powers. And and then we have all the Texas Chainsaw movies, spanning from the first part. You have a couple on Blu-ray and a couple on DVD.
Yeah. The hard ones to get are the one they have on DVD because I can't find them on.
Yeah, I mean part 4, The Next Generation. You looked for that for several months.
Yeah.
I remember how you called me up and said how fucking happy you were. You finally got it.
Yeah, it's a bad movie.
So you pretty much wasted your time acquiring it, but it's nice that you have every single one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, the ones that are the only really good ones is part 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
those are super good.
The first one is obviously a classic, and the second one is
super good. Yeah.
But surprisingly, for it being called Chainsaw Massacre, there's one guy who gets killed in the first movie with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But the second one, you love the second one a lot more than the first.
Yeah.
Since it's so crazy and whack. This movie is fantastic.
There's so many memorable quotes in it too, so...
It's either the sex or the saw, boy.
Yeah.
Then we have the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Fantastic horror comedy. One of the best movies ever produced.
Yeah, super good.
Robert Englund is fantastic. I actually met the guy, and he just loves to play the part,
Yeah.
He has personified the part so much that there's no way they'll be able to replace him. And they talked about making a prequel before he became supernatural Freddy Krueger.
Right.
But, they wanted it to make super R-rated, and a lot of people aren't on board for it, so it might not go through. But I hope they do.
Yeah,
because he deserves another movie before he gets too old.
Also, I love the fourth wall breaking on that new Nightmare movie.
Yeah, it's super self-aware.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Literally, Freddy Krueger coming on stage.
Yeah, that's the best scene in the movie, where he's
good.
talking to his fans, Freddy's back! Here's the remake.
Oh, the face wrong. Yeah.
Not a great movie. It introduces some new elements, so it makes it slightly refreshing. But yeah, it can't really top anything the older ones have to offer.
I completely agree.
Yeah. Child's Play, Children of the Corn first.
Oh yeah.
We made a commentary track for that movie, but like we didn't say much interesting shit, so that shit was cut except for some parts. But definitely an entertaining movie.
Yeah.
Sort of the Isaac character.
Yeah.
Outlander.
Such an annoying kid, but it's like he's doing a good job though.
Yeah,
like,
he's a terrific child
kid.
actor.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! You can start a religion around this guy.
Yeah. Child's Play.
The entire Child's Play franchise.
I love this franchise. It's good. The first two especially, those are really good. First one is really good, classic one. The second one's really good. The third one, it just really gets repetitive. It's the same thing as the second one, except it's in the military and he's all grown up. It's not a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, the guy playing Chucky, I forgot his name now, but he's also a terrific actor. He, just as Freddy Krueger, he personified his own role.
Yeah.
And
really good at the voice.
I like that actor. Aside from Child's Play, he was in a Star Trek episode where he played a similar, like, psychotic person. He was like a betazoid who can't, who just enjoys rage. You know, so he gets violent outbursts. So the Vulcan on the crew needs to explore this. How can he what's the motive for his murder? He doesn't have any. He's just crazy, and then he just Star Trek science stuff. So he's a really enjoyable actor. Okay, continuing. Second shelf. We have Hellraiser 1, 2, 3, the standard edition of the movie, and the special edition box set.
Yeah, it looks sick. The art for this, really beautiful. This special Arrow video ones. Looks great.
Yeah, it's a sick cover art.
It Follows. Let's talk about this.
It Follows is a great horror movie. When did it came out? Like
2 years ago. Something
yeah. Surprisingly a good horror movie. I mean, really, not a lot of jump scare shit until later in the movie. It gets you into the creepy feeling first, which is very important.
Yeah, it's about some really scary STDs.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Let's do
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I haven't seen this movie still.
It's kind of bad, but it's entertaining for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've had besides you, I have another friend who's seen this, and he enjoys the hell out of it. Plus, the theme song is great.
Yeah, it's super good.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space pretty much can't fail.
No.
Lights Out, like a longer movie version of that short internet video that surfaced a couple of years ago, and nothing special about it.
No.
Misery is a great fucking movie.
Super good movie.
And I recommend everyone who hasn't seen it to go see it. It's amazing.
It's one of the better Stephen King movies.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't seen any of these Omen movies, Oculus, Ouija.
Yeah,
Psycho.
Let's talk.
That's a classic film.
Super good movie. It holds up very, very good today, even though it's old now. It's made in the 1960s.
I think was it 60s? I thought it was earlier. Yeah. Check that out. I think it's even 1960. Earlier. 1960. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Terrific movie that is.
Yeah, it's a super good movie. Holds up today. If you haven't seen it, you should really.
Poltergeist is also a pretty competent movie. Yeah. Not as good as previous titles, but if you want a house haunting, this is the movie I would watch.
Yeah.
Got some really creepy imagery later on the movie, with the doors suck shit in.
Yeah, and the guy ripping off his own face in the...
that's disgusting. I love it.
Definitely better than watching The Conjuring.
Yeah,
it's like,
anything's better than The Conjuring.
If you want a haunted house movie kind of.
Moving on with Reanimator, super good movie.
Yeah, super good movie.
One of the best horror comedy movies ever made. Jeffrey Combs is a terrific actor. Like, this was one of his earlier flicks, and he has resurfaced like in Star Trek a lot. He's done a lot of Star Trek, several Aliens, and pretty much any of his Star Trek roles is just as enjoyable. But it's about this guy who invents a formula to resurrect dead tissue, and a lot of shenanigans ensue.
Really awesome cover art too. H.P. Lovecraft, even though he wrote the stories a long time ago, it's super good story. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, with this like mad scientist who gets his hands on the formula, and he holds his own head while he tries to molest this girl. And
it's an awesome movie.
Amazing movie. And we have the Saw franchise. This is every single one, right?
Yeah.
Including the recent one.
Yeah, the one that we don't talk about. This really got me into collecting horror Blu-rays or whatever, since I watched this with you.
Yeah,
It really
these were the
introduced me.
first movies we watched together, you know? I encouraged to, like, we watched Saw through them
Yeah, I
all.
was
and
super scared and disgusted of Saw when I first heard about it. I didn't want to watch it for so long, and then he convinced me to watch it, and I'm hooked. It's so good franchise, dude.
I mean, like, it's a perfect blend between a cool police movie, a crime drama thriller, and torture porn.
Yeah,
So it's the best of both worlds. So if you're interested in one, you get the other as well. You know.
Yeah,
So
it's super good plot.
it's
to it.
it's a good plot on the with great twists in pretty much each movie,
Yeah.
except some exceptions.
Yeah,
This one, for example.
yeah, that's a bad one. I'd say the first three are the best ones.
Yeah, pretty much. Then it's a long franchise, so it drags on.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first three are pretty much the best. 4, 5, and 6. I like the sixth one,
Yeah.
but yeah, the seventh one is not so great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Jigsaw. Well, let's not talk about that one.
Like, I mean, to be honest, the Jigsaw movies usually have like 2 or 3 twists towards the end.
Yeah.
There's a main twist and there's a couple of sub twists. The sub twist in Jigsaw is pretty awesome, while the main twists makes no sense at all, so ruins the whole movie. Scream trilogy, not
Yeah,
much
not
to
much
say about
about
that, you know. The Shining is a great classic Stanley Kubrick movie.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
Same Hannibal.
I've only seen Silence. I haven't seen Hannibal or Red Dragon.
Well, Hannibal's is pretty good. It's definitely not as good as Silence of the Lambs. Red Dragon, it's fine. It's not that good.
Sinister, one of the. I distinctly remember watching this movie with my girlfriend a couple of years ago, and I remember enjoying it. Ethan Hawke stars in that movie, and I love him.
Yeah, it's a really good atmosphere to the movie, but
Yeah.
yeah.
The whole the creepy origin story of sort of the curse is pretty interesting. So
Yeah, but
Split, recent movie, it's pretty good. Yeah. James McAvoy is great in that movie. Society.
well, let's talk about this one.
This movie,
It's special, yeah.
it's hard to explain Society if you haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's like about an orgy cult type of deal, and
Yeah.
someone adopted into a family that it probably shouldn't have been adopted to.
Yeah. So orgy, cult, rapey, alien.
Yeah, it's super weird
Yeah.
and kind of funny in the end of the movie, and really disgusting actually.
Here's a clip from Society, so YouTube can censor it.
Hey, Bill.
The Thing.
Thing.
Pretty much the greatest horror movie ever made.
It's
By
a really
far.
good
I
movie.
think it's my favorite horror movie of all time. John Carpenter. This is the John Carpenter remake of the original movie,
The Thing from Outer Space.
The Thing from Outer Space. Thank you. While the original movie is based off the movie of the book Who Goes There. I have read parts of the movie, and actually John Carpenter's remake is closer to the original book than the first movie was. But it's a pinnacle of
It's a really good movie.
pinnacle of great special effects and just a terrific movie. Just fucking watch it. Tusk, dude.
This is a horrible movie.
In your opinion,
yeah,
I find this great.
I mean, it's a good movie. It's well done. It's just really disgusting.
It's about this mad person who lives way up in the mountains, right?
Yeah, in Canada, I think.
Yeah, somewhere in Canada, and this interviewer goes up to sort of for his talk show, and when he arrives, he gets fucking clubbed and brutally mutilated and turned into a human seal, you know, with body parts sticking out, and yeah,
It's super disgusting.
it's amazingly disgusting. I love that movie, and I'm definitely gonna rewatch it sometime soon.
Let's not.
Yeah, but many horror movies are basically like you when you start to watch as many horror movies as we do, you start to notice how many elements that remind you of older movies.
Yeah.
For example, as we just finished watching House of a Thousand Corpses, how similar that is to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You notice all of that kind of stuff, and it gets really repetitive, but it's still enjoyable to like see brutal massacres and stuff.
Also, jump scares and that kind of stuff, you kind of get desensitized to it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's more important for horror movies to be atmospheric and scary that kind of way.
It's better to be creepy than to rely on
jump scares.
the
Yeah, because that goes a long way. I mean, the first Conjuring, it had some scary moments, but it's mostly jump scares.
But yeah, that's pretty much the entire collection. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We certainly did.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
sitting down, shooting the shit,
Yeah.
and talk about some movies.
Yeah, thanks for coming here.
So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.